Unexplained illnesses have brought women from all over the world together. And as they share their stories, they say they realize what's making them sick is oftentimes a choice that they made years before.
News 8's Emily Leonard has this story all new tonight.
Like so many questions these days, you turn to the internet for answers. And that's where thousands of women found their answers to a host of debilitating symptoms they've been suffering through. Although the medical community hasn't fully recognized it, they call it breast implant illness.
You ever seen Coyote Ugly? Like, I would dance on a bar, like clothes were on and everything, but we had routines. We danced on the bar. I worked for tips.
That was a decade ago. Today, Jessica Withy is a wife, mom of two, and a realtor living in Grand Haven. She blames a decision she made during those bar dancing days in Texas for the pain she lives with today.
I had always been an A cup. I was always small.
But a deal with a doctor that gave breaks to those who use their bodies to make money had Jessica jumping at the chance to leave her A cup behind.
And by the time I healed, I was a 32 triple D to fit a bra. And that's ginormous I'm 5'2", and I was like 100 pounds at the time. I was not happy with how big they were right off the bat, but it was, well, it is what it is. You know, I've got them. I chose this.
What Jessica chose were what's commonly referred to as the gummy bear implant. What she didn't choose is what came next.
If I would have known then what I could be feeling now, it never would have been worth it, because the pain that I'm in daily, like I'm looking at a fibromyalgia diagnosis. I don't want that, you know, like nobody wants that.
We introduced you to Becky Richard nearly 4 years ago, a hairstylist from Grand Rapids. She discovered she had breast cancer after a client urged her to get a mammogram. We spoke with her the day before that surgery.
And with the aggressive form that I have, my surgeon said I really don't see this type in a stage 1. It's usually a 3 or 4 by the time.
Really?
By the time I see it. So this is just, you're so lucky.
After a double mastectomy and treatment for the cancer, Becky underwent surgery to reconstruct her breasts.
I heard that these new 5th generation silicone implants are very safe, and millions of women have them, and it's very routine surgery. And basically the risk that I heard was the risk of infection from surgery.
But not unlike Jessica, Becky too started feeling sick.
I had gastrointestinal issues that got really bad.
I have back pain all the time.
I couldn't digest food. I was having reactions to food.
It was getting so bad that I'd wake up in tears.
Terrible joint pain. And I wasn't on any continued medication that would cause joint pain, so it was kind of a mystery.
Where does one go to solve a medical mystery? A doctor. And both women say they saw many doctors.
I saw a gastro doc, I saw a gynecologist, I saw a rheumatologist, I saw an ophthalmologist, I saw ENT for my hearing. And basically from a lot of those doctors, I just heard this might be your new normal.
The level of pain I'm having, he's like, I can't explain it. Like, none of the scans came back with any kind of evidence, nothing showing, no bone spurs, no tears, nothing that they can see.
As Jessica in Grand Haven and Becky in Grand Rapids were coming to terms with their new normal, the internet and the power of social media stepped in. Articles, testimonials, information that eventually led them to Dr. Shar Khan.
See, this is an internet phenomenon, a social media phenomenon. Had we been in the 70s and 80s, we would not be talking right now.
Nearly 3,000 women belong to Dr. Khan's Breast Implant Illness Support Group Facebook page. He believes what Jessica and Becky are dealing with has a very real cause: the breast implants inside their bodies.
We look at the pathology reports and we will see the chronic inflammation, the silica, amongst the many others, where there is a giant cell reaction, a foreign body reaction, clearly identifying what is breast implant illness.
Breast implant illness with a list of symptoms a mile long, affecting different women differently from head to toe.
And there were all of my symptoms right there in front of me. And I just cried, because I knew that this might be some hope for me.
The American Society of Plastic Surgeons reports nearly 314,000 women had breast augmentation surgery in 2018, nearly doubling the numbers from 20 years ago. More than 29,000 women had theirs removed. Dr. Khan says he started noticing the same women he saw coming in for breast implants during his time in medical school and residency would eventually come back to explant, a procedure he now does several times a week in his Novi clinic.
What amazes me is the fact that we have a solution, which is explantation, but the medical community is still far lagging behind in regards to recognizing it and even considering it as a differential diagnosis.
Women aren't waiting for the medical community to catch up. They're coming from around the world to have their breast implants explanted with Dr. Khan.
We have enough data just from the patient's feedback that this is real and there is a real problem and there is a real solution to it.
Last August, the FDA provided an update on what it calls adverse events related to breast implants, saying in part, while there is limited use of the term breast implant illness in medical literature, symptoms such as fatigue, memory loss, rash, brain fog, and joint pain may be associated with breast implants. And some patients and clinicians may use the term breast implant illness to describe these symptoms or use these terms when reporting them to the FDA. While the FDA doesn't have definitive evidence demonstrating breast implants cause these symptoms, the current evidence supports that some patients experience systemic symptoms that may resolve when their breast implants are removed. The FDA is committed to communicating information the agency receives about systemic symptoms reported by patients with breast implants.
It's thousands of women who are saying, I got mine out and this got better. I got mine out and this and this and this got better. I got mine out and look at my face. Like, our eyes are bloodshot and puffy and just look sick.
How quickly did you know that you wanted to get them out?
I knew right away.
On the breast implant removal page of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, the organization says breast implants are not lifelong devices, and it's important to have them exchanged or removed approximately every 10 to 15 years by a board-certified plastic surgeon. This decision is typically based on the individual and the patient's needs and desires. Both Jessica and Becky explanted with Dr. Khan last month. We plan on following up with them. Emily Leonard, News 8.